Hello and welcome to Collin and Curtis in the morning. It is April 9th, 2016. Collin, how's it going?
What episode number is this?
Episode 34.
Episode 34. Fantastic.
That sounds right. That
Yeah,
could be wrong though.
I think
You
you
never know.
might be making that up. I
But
don't know.
we got some news. It's been a pretty light news week. Not a lot of crazy stuff going on. There's been some crazy rumors, but those are for platforms that we don't talk about on this show.
Yeah.
Or actually, I mean, we do, but we try not to. Um, so we got some list of news here.
How about you just
some...
How about you just link this together?
Oh. Well, anyways, Dragonfin Soup Extra Chunky Edition is a patch. It's an update, a big update coming to Dragonfin Soup on PS4, PS3, and Vita. Kind of later in the year. It's also like coming to other platforms late 2016.
Yep.
But, Colin, this update includes the ability to feed pets to level them up.
About time.
There's a toggle button for the grid view. There's a new Black Knight pet inspired by Monty Python, which is interesting. New dungeons, new trash talk system, new items, recipes, weapons, and much more, as you can see in the Dragonfin Soup tutorial video. There's just like linked to a video. This was from, we got a press release from this. It's also been posted on some other websites.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of Dragonfin Soup, never really got super into it. I know some people really like it. Did you ever spend much time with this?
I didn't. I think I have it downloaded on like PS3 or something.
Okay.
I downloaded it, but I didn't get a chance
Well,
to
maybe
play
when
it.
the patch comes out, maybe we'll give it another go and see what's up.
Yep.
And other exciting news, and this one I'm really pumped for. Rocket Birds 2 Evolution finally has a release date. This game's been a long time coming.
Yep.
It's out on PS4 and Vita on April 26th, so we're just a few weeks away from that.
Yep.
I reviewed that game, the first game, I should say, and I loved it. Really, really great game. Did you ever play Rocket Birds at all?
I did not. We've talked about it on or off air sometimes.
All right. Well, I definitely recommend it. You should check it out. It's really great. Get in on that first one in time for the sequel. You got to catch up on the lore.
You got it.
For Rocket Birds. Great soundtrack. Oh, I think you would really, really like the soundtrack a lot.
Okay. Cool.
It's a really great soundtrack. I believe the band's returning for the second game, so
Cool.
Excitement. Dear Esther is coming to PlayStation 4 this summer. This seemed like an inevitability. This, of course, by the Chinese room people did Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
Yep.
So it just seemed like it would make sense for Dear Esther to be brought over at some point.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I know you and I both played Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. I liked it, and then as time went on, I kind of grew maybe a little bit more meh on the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't know where you ended up falling on it.
I enjoyed the story, but it like you kind of almost have to do some like digging in to like figure out like if like what really happened and like piece things together. And I honestly didn't have that much of a drive to be like look it up and look up a Wikipedia on it. I'm like, yeah, right. I just didn't really care at that point, but I enjoyed it.
Did you end up getting the platinum in that?
I did. I got all the. That was the most menial task of trophies I've ever seen in a video game before.
So how excited are you for Dear Esther then?
I actually am pretty excited. This was back when Dear Esther originally came out on PC. I was very intrigued by this game.
Yeah, as was I.
And this is back like when I had an old kind of cruddy laptop. I almost thought about buying the game off Steam or wherever it was on. To play it, but it's really cool that it's coming to consoles, and I think I'll definitely probably pick it up.
Yeah, I was also like you when it came out, kind of very intrigued. I want to say Dear Esther was one of the first games, from a few years back that kind of started this.
You don't want to say walking simulator.
No, I don't want to say.
Yeah, I know you're trying to avoid it.
Kind of was the first of this genre, this exploration, game genre that's kind of built up. It was like that. Gone Home was another one that kind of spurred it.
Yeah,
I think. I will say though, as I'm still very intrigued by Dear Esther, but I think I'm a little less excited about it now that I played Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
Sure.
And because how bummed out I was about where the story went, now I'm a little less enthusiastic about seeing what Dear Esther's about.
Yeah, because even like what was that, Amnesia, Machine for Pigs wasn't like all that.
That was not well received from what I not played it, but from the stuff I read from people who have, it definitely seemed like people were not huge on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyways, got some other pretty exciting stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
News of the week.
Yes, news of the week.
It.
Yeah.
Umbrella Corps, the Resident Evil game.
Yes.
The multiplayer Resident Evil shooter.
Uh-huh.
It's coming June 21st.
That's what we all wanted.
Yeah. Is it?
Yes, it is. So is this kind of almost a delay? Because wasn't this supposed to be May?
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to come out in like May or something.
I thought it was
but
too.
I don't know if they ever gave a specific date for it. Maybe they did.
I don't remember.
But I believe it's only like $30. Like it's not super expensive. You and I for sure will probably check this out and play it and talk about it.
Yep. They had a new.
I'm curious. Like, and there's been positive stuff for people. Like people who have played it at events have said positive things about it.
Like me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you did. You did play it.
That's the first thing I played at PAX.
Yep. So I'm curious about it. I'm interested. I mean, we've been playing Resident Evil 6, and I'm trying to go into that with like an open mind.
Yeah.
And trying to find the good in that game because I know that there are obviously things about it that I'm not gonna like. So I'm trying to be open about it and try to enjoy it for what it is. Yeah. So I'll do the same for Umbrella Corps.
Yeah.
Even though in the back of my head, I'll just be shaking my head, just thinking, what are you doing?
Well, I know Curtis was really excited when he watched that new customization trailer where he can.
Oh, it's great.
Where he can outfit his guy with different colors and logos.
My favorite thing about the customization trailer is you had those like labels that you could like extend and make small, like make huge, and like cover the helmet. That stuff's pretty cool.
Yeah, you put like a penguin on your backpack.
I bet.
That'd
be great.
You know it.
More representation of penguins in our video games, please.
Absolutely.
Neo. Now this one came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
This was kind of surprising. So Neo is the game that was announced. Was it last TGS?
I think it was TGS. Yep.
And it is kind of the one that's often referred to as Samurai Souls.
Yeah.
It's a very clearly Dark Souls inspired, but with like a samurai twist to it. Looks like it's doing some pretty interesting things to differentiate itself from Dark Souls and not just be a clone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So, there's an alpha demo of this game coming April 26th. That's only a couple weeks away.
Yeah, that's pretty surprising.
April 26th is a pretty cool day.
Yeah.
In my book.
Yeah, getting the Rocket Birds, getting the Neo Alpha demo.
Yeah.
What will you play first?
Boy.
I know what you'll play first. You'll probably still be playing Dark Souls 3.
Yeah. But
That's
then, like, I can close out a Dark Souls 3 and play a Samurai Souls.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, man. That's well. And the weird thing about Neo is apparently it's only a week long.
Oh, okay.
So it feels like the demo is gonna like not work after a week. I don't really know.
Gotcha.
But I am super excited to check this out because they like reconfirmed it's gonna come out this year.
Cool.
Probably late this year, I would expect.
Yeah.
But this is really interesting. I like getting these really early looks at games. I'm curious to see like how long the demo is gonna be, what it entails. We'll definitely talk about that and cover it in some form.
Yep.
I know you're our other resident Dark Souls fanatic. How excited are you about Neo?
My hype index for Neo, out of 100, is maybe I'm gonna go with like a 58 out of 100.
Oh, it's too low, Collin.
Which actually for me I think is actually pretty high.
Actually, it probably is pretty high.
It's pretty high for
all
me
things considered.
because I'm fairly interested in the game. I will probably definitely check out the alpha demo thing.
Okay. So there's two other things that we want to cover very quick. One that's a secret to you, so we'll start with that one.
Okay.
I'm just gonna read this headline. This is from PlayStationLifestyle.net.
Oh man. Uh-oh.
Donut Drake won't be in Uncharted 4. Naughty Dog wasn't, quote, comfortable having it in our game. So if you played Uncharted, like 1, 2, and 3, I believe all of them had this. You remember back in the day that you play like Ratchet on PS2 and Jak and Daxter and you had your cheat codes?
Yep.
And you get Big Head mode or you get whatever.
Whatever skin.
Uncharted,
you can play as the bad guy. Yeah.
Uncharted had Donut Drake. Where Drake just basically became this inflatable human being and became very big,
very obese,
and it was kind of played up for laughs, I guess. It was kind of a funny, goofy thing. I remember doing it in the first game. I think in the second one as well. I did.
Yeah.
But I guess it's not gonna be that game. Druckmann said, "I didn't want to have a laugh at someone's expense. I thought we'd matured beyond that." We had a big debate about it and kind of approached it from all kinds of angles and decided we weren't comfortable having it in our game. This is fine to me. I think this is just, Naughty Dog has kind of been moving in a more serious direction anyways.
Yeah.
And I forgot about Donut Drake until this news story. I just thought it was interesting. I don't think it's a problem or anything. I'm sure someone out there is upset about it, but kind of a bummer because for me, it's more of a bummer because like I miss having the cheat codes and like the big head mode, and stuff. And maybe there's still a big head mode in there. That's great.
Yeah, I assume with him saying that, it sounds like there's more skins. It's just they took out the Donut Drake.
The Donut Drake is whatever. I'm much more like if they were like, we don't have the tiny head or big head mode, and then we'd have to talk.
Because they didn't do it with Uncharted 3, from what I remember. From what
maybe.
I remember, Uncharted, I don't know if they put it in the Nathan Drake collection, but on the PS3 version, I don't believe that was in there, because it was in Uncharted 1 and 2.
I remember it specifically 1 and 2. I played with it for like a few minutes and was like, that's funny. Yeah. Okay. But I totally get the reasoning. And
I understand where he's coming from.
Did you ever play the big head mode in like Jak and Daxter and stuff?
I actually didn't play very much Jak and Daxter.
Okay.
But
well,
Ratchet
I think
and
it was
Clank,
in a number of different games.
But Ratchet and Clank, I did.
Yeah.
Like GoldenEye on the N64.
That was always one of my favorite things. It's just like just being like, okay, this is a stupid, dumb video game.
Yeah.
Your character looks even crazier now, which I always liked.
Yeah.
But I thought that would just be a fun thing to bring up.
Yeah.
Very briefly.
The
but
one thing.
The other big thing. Go ahead.
Hold on. I gotta. The only thing I'll say is that I see their reasoning why they did it, but I feel like it would only be an issue like if they put Donut Drake in there and like he moved slower and like he couldn't jump or something like that. Like if it was something like that, then I think like it would be something to take an issue of. But it's like
it was like a noticeable disadvantage.
Yeah, but there's no difference. It's just
like
a
they
skin.
were making a statement. Like,
yeah.
Okay,
like,
I get that.
I would say that's being a laugh.
Well, that's why that's why I always found like the big head mode and stuff like that funny. Mm-hmm. It's because like it would make no difference.
Yeah.
And so you'd be pulling off these crazy stunts. That's like this really weird thing.
Yeah.
Like with like just a giant head, especially like in the sports games, it was always fun.
Yeah.
Because they would look like bobbleheads. Yeah. And that was funny.
Yeah.
So the last thing we want to talk about, and then this is something that will allow, if you're listening to this, I think we're curious of what your thoughts are. There was a pretty big leak earlier this week relating to God of War. If you don't want to know, if you're like on media blackout for the new God of War game that hasn't been
announced yet,
turn this off.
Yep.
There's a big leak. Lots of stuff came out. It seems pretty true. It seems pretty likely. It is also. I mean, like a new God of War game is in development. Big surprise.
Yeah.
We've kind of known about that too, and so the rumor here, if it started out with like GOW4 was a thing name dropped in some PlayStation 4K rumors.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And we talk about PlayStation 4K, but we've already talked about it, and I want to wait until it's confirmed to bring it up again on the show, basically.
Sure.
Because I feel like we both have said our piece, so I want to wait until we have like confirmed information so we can go into it again.
Yeah.
But that was name dropped there as like a game that would take advantage of PlayStation 4K at launch. But also there was some concept art that came out this week. And the important thing is that the concept art demonstrated that God of War would be moving to Norse mythology.
Oh wow.
Yeah. The other thing that's probably also kind of important is the concept art also contained a character, and that character was clearly labeled as Kratos. And this version of Kratos has a little axe, and he's got a real big beard. Collin, how big of a God of War fan are you?
Not too big. I've actually been playing some of the games for the first time. I've recently went through like the PSP games that were on PS3.
Yeah.
Went and finally played like God of War 3 like maybe like a couple months ago. The only game I still need to play is Ascension. Then I have played all of them.
I never played Ascension. I played all the other ones, but Ascension, I never had an interest.
Yeah,
in
I've never had really an interest in God of War, but this new, let's say, as a leak, but like this new idea that he would be going to Norse mythology, I think, is very exciting. I think it would almost be something to get me in.
When I was growing up in school, Greek mythology was like my thing. That was like, oh, I loved learning about it. I was like so fascinated in that.
Yeah.
And I was never like a huge history person, so it was like the mythology angle was something that I could get into. And then as of like Norse mythology, as I've slowly kind of been introduced to it, has also been a thing of like, that's really cool. I would love God of War to go in that direction, and it looks like they are. I would consider myself to be a pretty big fan of God of War. My thought on this for a while has been that whatever, I was like, they're going to make a new God of War. It's going to happen. I have to accept that, even though I would like for them to do something new. It's the same way with before Uncharted 4 got announced. It was like, I get that Uncharted 4 is an inevitability, but I kind of wish they would do something different.
Yeah.
Same with The Last of Us. Like, if they made The Last of Us 2, I would be there day one. But at the same time, what if they did a new thing? So with God of War 4, it's like, okay, if I have to accept that a new God of War is coming, as much as I have liked those games, and I'm sure they'll do great, with the new one, give me a new setting. Like, give me a new mythology. Norse mythology is great. I would have preferred someone other than Kratos, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like Kratos. I don't have an issue with him. But sometimes change is good.
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing about this, and some people have theorized, is perhaps they could follow a Legend of Zelda route in which Kratos is more... Now, Kratos obviously has more expressive, we'll say.
Yeah.
Compared to Link. But you could see Kratos just being the vessel in which the player is able to... be angry at gods.
Yeah.
and so I actually like that idea of like perhaps this Kratos is actually a different kind of character, just in name and kind of look. And the way that Link is like, Link always is gonna look the same, kind of the green tunic, the everything like that. And so I like the concept. I don't think that's gonna be the case. You finished God of War 3?
Yeah.
So God of War 3 leaves on a pretty big cliffhanger.
I would say so.
Someone theorized that perhaps he awakens in the Norse mythology realm. Or something.
I think it's really. I think I'm almost kind of on the other side. I really think it's cool that like hopefully like this is the same Kratos.
Yeah.
Because I just really like old characters in a new setting.
Okay.
I've always like stuff like you find like Majora's Mask or something like that. Like who this Link is, and like now he's in a new setting. So I think like I like knowing and I feel like that's why I enjoyed like maybe something like Peace Walker so much, like Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, is because it's a like familiar characters, like we somewhat know Miller and we knew who Big Boss is, but then it's like he's meeting all these other characters. It's not, and it's almost why I like Rising a little bit, is like Rising Revengeance, because like hey, we have this established character, we know who he is, and now he's meeting new people. So that's I think it's really fascinating, and I really hope it's the same Kratos.
Like, and to me they got the important thing right. If this is all true, like it's the mythology angle is the important thing.
Yeah,
it's like give us a new setting. I think like that was the thing, because I definitely, once Ascension got announced, you started to feel the fatigue from people.
Yeah. Sure.
And now I Ascension I just didn't care for because it was in a direction I just was not interested in general.
Yeah.
However, like I was definitely at a point where it's like, give us a new mythology, bring us someone different, like different gods, different characters, like you're saying. And so having Kratos in that and like seeing him react and being like, what is, because he lived in a realm where gods were real.
Yeah.
He takes down Zeus, that's it, and then suddenly he shows up in Norse mythology, and there's all these other gods. Like, what would his reaction to that even be?
Yeah.
And that's fascinating.
Yeah, and I don't know how much spoilers we want to get into for God of War 3, but there is still another god that is.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Still there.
You are right.
In that kind of Greek mythology. So that'll be interesting.
And I also always loved. I think it was David Jaffe. Like after the first God of War came out, he outlined what his like original plan for the series was.
Yeah,
and, like, eventually,
I've heard about
at
that.
one point, it like everything would converge.
Yeah.
And you would see all these different gods from all these different mythologies and like religions. You know.
Yeah.
And that would get intense, and like you could imagine what that would turn into.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is in a way them going after that in a little bit of a way, like baby steps. Nonetheless, I expect this to get announced at E3.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Fully expect this to get announced at E3.
Yeah.
As if it was any, as if there was ever any doubt.
Yeah.
Like I feel like this is definitely like, okay, it's happening.
I
wonder, Colin, though. I wonder if this game is in fact, and I would expect it to be, one of your lead PlayStation 4K games.
Yeah.
Would they announce that at E3, but not announce PlayStation 4K just yet? Or do you think God of War 4 getting announced at E3 could lend credence to the idea that the PlayStation 4K would probably get announced alongside it?
I would say it would be the same. I think they would probably... I think the PlayStation 4K, 4.5, whatever, would be announced at the same time as like this God of War. Like if like these leaks, rumors, whatever.
If all of these leaks are true.
Yeah, if all of it's true.
We should preface by saying that if all of this is true,
it
is.
Yeah.
The legends, they're real, all of it. The Jedi. Oh, anyways.
Yeah.
So you were about to say something.
Well, yeah. I'm not going towards the VR route. I was almost gonna say this is a bold prediction, but I don't think this is really that bold of a prediction. I will say God of War 4 will not have multiplayer. It will be single player only.
I don't.
I
certainly hope not.
I think the Ascension multiplayer was not very well received.
I think it was like just a test.
Yeah.
Like an experiment.
And I feel like with Ascension, I feel like there was no way they were going to market that game without people thinking one way or the other. And that's why I say that is Todd Pappy, who is the game director on Ascension, said like, because you remember when they first showed God of War Ascension, it was the multiplayer. That's all they showed first was the multiplayer.
And that kind of told you enough.
Yeah, because it was really weird because they're like, oh, no, it still has like a full single player campaign with Kratos. And I feel if they showed the multiplayer first, people are going to think that, oh, this is just a multiplayer game. Like that's what they're focusing on is multiplayer. But if they came out first and showed Kratos and then they showed the multiplayer, they'd just be like, oh, it's just a tacked on multiplayer mode.
Yeah. Ascension always just felt like, I mean, it's not a numbered sequel. It was like this weird prequel in a way, and there's already been like a number of prequels.
There's two prequels.
The timeline started to get really muddied, but it always felt like this weird, like, well, it's been a little while, and God of War 4 isn't coming anytime soon.
Yeah.
So here's this.
Yeah.
And whether or not God of War 4 is a continuation of the story, whether it's a reboot into a new mythology, we'll find out, and I'm assuming in a few months.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to hear listeners' thoughts on this. What you think of God of War, or what would you think of these leaks, or Kratos coming back, or any number of things. What are your thoughts? And also, what are your thoughts on everything that we've talked about today?
What are your thoughts on his beard? That's what I want to hear from.
I love it. Oh, it's
great.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's great. Yeah. So
right.
I think that's going to do it for us. Next week, I think you would expect a pretty long episode.
Okay.
Next week, there's a lot of stuff coming out.
Yes.
So one way or the other, Colin and I are going to find a way to talk about Dark Souls 3.
Well, you're obviously talking about the new Destiny April update, which is coming April 12th. It has
I'm shocked that you said that first.
The light level is
I'm shocked that you didn't mention Ratchet.
It has also some new
So Dark Souls 3, Ratchet and Clank, Destiny.
there's also this Ratchet game
coming
stuff out. We're just talking over each other now. Just
but that's going to do it for us. Yeah. Colin, thank you for joining me.
Absolutely.
I am Curtis. You are Colin.
Yes, I am.
You can follow us at PSNstores on Twitter, at BossmanCCrowder on Twitter, at PSPenguin. Let us know what you thought of the episode, what you thought of all the news we talked about. What are you excited for out of all of that? What do you think of God of War 4? And how do you feel about that new Uncharted racing game from Naughty Dog?
Oh, wow. That was a fantastic trailer.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.